We expect cybersecurity experts to be the ones securing these doors against threats. But in Uruguay, an elite analyst doing exactly that became the country's first person jailed for a computer crime. This is Alberto Daniel Hill's LinkedIn profile, showing his credentials as a certified ethical hacker and project manager, alongside his banner, "Hacking is not a crime." He built a career spanning 2 decades in digital forensics and threat intelligence. In 2014, while analyzing a major medical provider's network, he found a catastrophic flaw. The system was secured by basic admin default credentials, leaving over 200,000 patient records exposed to anyone who guessed the simplest password in the book. He followed the professional protocol for an ethical hacker. He documented the vulnerability and reported it to the National Emergency Response Teams so the provider could patch the leak. But the very act of reporting the flaw created a record of his access. By documenting his discovery to the authorities, he had unknowingly provided the state with a paper trail for a system that was about to become a crime scene. 3 years later, in 2017, an unrelated extortionist attacked the exact same medical provider Hill had warned. The authorities investigated the extortion and found Hill's earlier disclosure. The judicial and law enforcement apparatus interpreted his past access and standard networking software as evidence of a crime. He was wrongfully convicted. Hill spent 8 months inside a prison cell for a crime he had actually tried to prevent. This grid of his published works highlights titles like Operation Bitcoins and Login to Hell. He used his post-prison career to document the judicial overreach and technical errors that led to his sentence. The incarceration failed to silence him, pushing him to abandon standard corporate compliance in favor of a much more aggressive approach to digital governance. He identified a systemic behavior he calls the protocol of silence. When state institutions or corporations face a data breach, their first reflex is to hide the details to protect their public reputation. To counter this, Hill adopted a strategy of radical transparency. As a digital dissident, he analyzes breaches and publishes evidence openly, forcing the issue into the public eye before it can be covered up. This Cyber Midnight blog post shows his deep forensic analysis. During the Banco Hipotecario incident, officials claimed a minor IT issue. Hill released data proving a massive ransomware attack. Continuing down, he cross-references public statements with hacker communications, filling the information vacuum left by the state. His constant public pressure and the Hack Not Crime movement directly drove the modernization of Uruguay's cybercrime framework in 2024. Quietly complying with non-disclosure agreements allows vulnerabilities to fester. Forcing institutional accountability in modern networks requires this kind of asymmetric public pressure. This is actress Nicole Eggert. In February 2026, her Facebook account was hijacked, exposing the failure of automated support at trillion-dollar tech companies. An attacker initiated a permanent deletion sequence. Eggert was on the verge of losing 15 years of personal records, including her private cancer diaries, while Meta's automated support system trapped her in a useless verification loop. Hill intervened with the tri-continental pincer. You don't defeat an automated giant with code, you hit it with regulatory leverage. The strategy weaponized the Irish Data Protection Commission, the GDPR, and legal notices regarding spoliation of evidence, preventing the diary's destruction. Under pressure from international regulators, Meta was forced to bypass its own automated protocols. A human engineer manually killed the global sessions and restored the account, saving the diaries. When facing the faceless bureaucracy of big tech, legal precision is often the only asymmetric weapon that can force a response. This global ranking table places Alberto Daniel Hill in the top 0.3% for influence. He operates in a highly specialized tier as an independent threat analyst, driven by public intelligence rather than corporate liability. This is the Spotify episode feed for his podcast, The Cyber Midnight Club. He uses this platform to break down complex threat intelligence and regional crises directly for the public. Looking at these audience demographics, we see the tangible reach of his broadcasts. He has cultivated a highly informed base of listeners who track his vulnerability reports in real time. Usually, responses to digital hacks come from official Computer Emergency Response Teams, or CERTs. But Hill fills the silence left by those teams, acting as a psychological CERT by providing live analysis and forensic data that bridges the gap between victims and the public. His career proves a vital point. The most critical vulnerability in our digital infrastructure is institutional secrecy and the outdated laws that protect it. A resilient defense against cyber threats relies on a citizenship equipped with transparent data and fully prepared to question the systems built to protect them.